reading my story, Chasing Rainbows. Chapter 11. A Step Closer. During the days that followed, Gerald mused how best to articulate and reveal his true identity to Jess. He could not help but feel apprehensive. In the short time since they had met, he had come to like and respect this courageous young woman. He knew little of her childhood, except that she had been raised by the nuns in the orphanage and had no family ties to her knowledge. Gerald was aware of her vulnerability and how his revelation might affect her. After all, she had no memories of her mother, so how could he expect her to accept that he was her father? He had no proof of this, so how could he expect Jess to believe him? No matter how he might manifest the truth or try to protect the girl's emotions, there was no easy way to explain. Gerald was in torment. He did not know how best to begin. Then one morning, as he strolled into the village, it came to him. He must try to trace Kathleen. Of course, that was it. It would not be easy, and he had no idea of her whereabouts, yet someone might know of her. With a vague hope that Kathleen may have registered the infant's birth, he began his search at Plymouth Register Office. But after searching the archives, they could reveal nothing. The clerk suggested he try Plymouth's Devon Hospital and the doctor's surgeries. It was possible that the young lady in question had sought medical advice. With his hopes soaring, Gerald made inquiries at the hospital, but no one appeared to have any knowledge of an Irish girl of Kathleen Flanagan's description. Even the doctor's surgeries proved fruitless. Then, as he stood wondering where to try next, he glanced up and noticed a lamp decorated with a leaf design, which was, of course, the well-known trademark of a pawnbroker's. It was a slim chance that she had ever used it, but it was certainly worth investigating. A bell above the door jangled as he pushed it open, and he stepped inside. It was a dismal sort of place, and not much light, and he was aware of a most unpleasant odour. Gerald walked across to the counter and waited. An elderly man emerged from the shadows. Clearly vexed, he shuffled towards him. "I only accept genuine stuff, you understand, mister. Gold, silver," he began. Gerald interrupted. "I have nothing to pawn, but I wondered if you could help me." The man stared at him, plainly irritated. After all, hadn't he just been enjoying a nice plate of tasty mackerel before he was interrupted? He shrugged his shoulders. "If you ain't got nothing to pawn, mister, I don't see as how I can help." He turned away. "What if I made it worth your while?" Gerald was aware he was clutching wildly at straws, yet maybe the old chap knew something. Surely it was worth a try. However, it was clear he wasn't from this part of the world, as he spoke with a distinct London accent. And the old man hesitated. He rubbed his hands together, and a look of pure greed came into his eyes. Business wasn't what it used to be. Maybe he stood to gain. His wrinkled old face creased into an artful grin. He shrugged again. Depends on what you want to know, mister, he replied. Gerald took a deep breath and gave a brief description of how the young Kathleen would have looked at that time. Was it possible that such a young woman may have tried to pawn or sell something? Did he recall anyone of her description? At first the old chap shook his head, unable to remember, but then a certain light came into his faded blue eyes. There were a maid, as I recall. She were a pretty little thing and shivering with the cold. Hardly had 2 brass farthings to rub together. She had a gold ring with a pretty sapphire setting, not worth much, you understand, but I tries to help where I can. He shrugged. Gerald's hopes soared, yet he was becoming impatient. So she asked to pawn the ring? He began. Oh no, mister. She sold it to me. Said as how she were desperate like. He shuffled across to a glass case which appeared to contain red velvet embossed trays of rings and all manner of necklaces and bracelets. He opened the lid of the case, reached inside and produced a small brown box which he waved triumphantly. Here, 'tis! Never did sell it after all. How much do you want for it? Gerald interrupted, anxious to have the ring in his possession. The old fellow scratched his head. Oh, well now, let's see, he began. Gerald reached inside his wallet and produced a crisp £20 note which he placed upon the counter. Will this suffice? He queried. The old man's eyes nearly popped out of his head. Why, he hardly made this much in a week. Yet, before he could snatch the note, Gerald retrieved it and waved it enticingly above his head. Not so fast, my good man. Did she give any idea where she might be from? The old chap squinted and scratched his head again and muttered something inaudible under his breath. Oh, what's that you say? Gerald bent closer as he continued to dangle the £20 note in the air. I said she were Irish, now what about me money? The old fellow grumbled. Any idea where she may have been bound for? Gerald pressed, eager for more information. I ain't a blinking mind reader, mister. How the heck should I know? Gerald proceeded to tuck the money back inside his wallet, turned as if to take his leave. Hey, wait up, mister. Come to think of it, she did mention something about working her passage overseas. Now let me think. That's it. She were to emigrate with a young lady to America. She were going as her maid. The old chap nodded his head with satisfaction. Gerald grinned as he placed the money upon the counter and tucked the ring safely away inside his pocket. Suddenly he knew what he must do. It made no sense in being angry that Kathleen had kept the birth of their child from him. Yet he did find it hard to forgive her for not trying to contact him when she discovered she was the mother of his child. She must have realized he would have moved mountains to find her. It had cut him deeply to discover that she had kept their daughter's birth a secret from him. Now he knew for sure that he must trace Kathleen, whatever the outcome, for he knew in his heart that Jess was his flesh and blood, and that Louisa was indeed his grandchild. And to him, these revelations were worth their weight in gold. As he made his way back towards the harbour, he was ready to put his next plan into action.